Hi guys, welcome to this setup. It's actually a data version of the XeroLInux ISO, and I'll make a test for ArcoLinux TweakTool on this one, and then later on the one you can get, right? So we have the XeroLInux 3 repos in here. I've added the repos to the ArcoLinux TweakTool, which means you can have them on ArcoLinux, you can have them on ALCI, Arizer, Manjaro, and EndeavourOS Garuda, right? The 9 at this point in time. It's on AOR, so there are options. Either go to ArcoLinux.info, get the spices application, then you get everything, or you do it via AOR. As long as it's there, you can use it. So number one, it's already installed, I see. So let's go through the motions anyway. So that's not gonna be, it is a good version, but it's not the official version, right? Let's first launch this thing. You'll see when we update. So in here is Pacman. And if keys are not present, it will give a button here. So like this one, install keys and mirrors. Endeavour, if you want to install packages from there, you first need to tell Pacman, hey Pacman, here are the keys, there are the mirrors, and the line comes in pacman.conf. 3 things you need. So if I would just make this a bit nicer and more beautiful, then we're just gonna install the keys and then activate it in that order. It seems best, right? And here we can activate ArcoLinux. So there is no button, which means I've already done it before the video. That's it, right? I'm not gonna go, and here is everything is what happened here. And this is, well, normal on XeroLInux, and the others do not have that. It's benign, so whatever. With the next update maybe, right? That's how it goes. -S, YMIU. EndeavourOS could not read. Yeah, I did the wrong sequence, I think. First add it and then, right? That's how it goes. Easiest way probably is going to go to, so it's not, it's interesting to see the fix, right? So etc, always go back to the core file. What changed? Here XeroLInux, XeroLInux repo, repositories, and down here are the other guys. All right. You can go up like this and then do a control cut, so K, and then control X, and yes. Now we've cleaned everything up again, right? Everything is gone again, which means everything is solved again. Everything we're back as it was. Which means, let's go to ArcoLinux TweakTool, launch it like this time. I did it also last time, I think. Anyway, Pacman. So we need to know, right? We need to know, is it in? The best way to actually know if something is in is remove it. So sudo pacman -remove ArcoLinux mirror list and keyring, that's in. -R EndeavourOS, that's not in, right? So EndeavourOS is not accessible at this point in time, and he thinks it is. He thinks it is. Ah, no, sorry, my mistake. Install keys and mirrors. So he does not think it is, right? Now it's going to be installed. Here we see some confirmation. If you really want to check, is it installed? Let's do first -SYYU and see. Okay. And now we activate restart ATT. Gonna be much better to look at, because then the button is gone, then we can activate it, and then aha, another line. EndeavourOS is active. Same goes for this guy. First this, wait for the application, kill the keyring. You can check immediately, sudo pacman -remove. If something went wrong, tell me. Because we are actually providing all these files inside ATT. So if there's a reference, a number reference, because they have all numbers, right? If that's mismatched, then we need to just make a new release. Somehow, but normally shouldn't happen. So Nemesis, Chaotix, XeroLarch, they're all on. Voila, that's what I would say for now, right, as testing. And we have all these lines. Now the Linux, and here it comes, right? So this is the official guy. This is the one from us, ArcoLinux repo. So once you have access to the original repos, you're getting the original package as well. So that's why I say you can start with AOR, because later on you'll update it anyway. So these are the 9 ISOs we're now providing support for. And the topic is development, well, is actually the new release that can be released, and it's called the dev version, so the development version. We're going to switch between this one and that one, so jump from 50 to 57. That's that. Okay, I like to launch it like this. If somebody knows why these things are here, right? I spent better part of yesterday looking at all the things. So many options that I've looked at. So if anybody has that knowledge, please share. But it's benign, right? It doesn't matter, but it's not nice. This is new, right? Desktop. Wow, we've got the desktop. Yes, we can install any desktop that we have on ArcoLinux on XeroLInux. So this is the drop down, and of course you need to activate the repos of ArcoLinux, right? All these tiling window managers, they have packages configs from us, so the repos have to be open, have to be installed. This needs to work. And then we go to the desktop and we launch Awesome. Sure, why not? And we continue our video in Awesome. Awesome has been installed. Thank you. Thank you. And we log out to, no, I was too quick. We log out. Sip of tea. Quite hot. Wow. And then Awesome. And we've got this, right? Beautiful wallpaper. Are you in need of wallpapers to make it live a little bit more interesting? ArcoLinux wallpapers. Git. Voila. Super Shift R is reloading. Super Shift R. If you're on tiling window managers, these things should be in your brain. Super Enter. Super Shift Enter. Super Shift D, the D menu, you launch Firefox. Super Q, Super Q, Super Q, Super X. Log out, hibernate, log. Well, let's test this one. And there are the fishies. And we're back in. So that's your new possibility on XeroLInux. Get any of our desktops in, and it's a good idea to combine a tiling window manager with Plasma, but not so much with Mate or with Cinnamon. So the full desktops is something else. But tiling manager with something like mentioned before, GNOME or Mate or XFCE or the big desktops, that's no issue at all. They do not intervene. You don't have all the applications, and on Awesome we don't see anything, right? It's just here and another menu, and then you go to number 3, and here you go to Firefox. I mean, there is no interaction with all these Plasma applications whatsoever. Voila. Next one. So deleting if we want, click, 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 right? Well, the latte docker, we don't need it, but we don't see it. And there was one where it was launched. Don't recall which one that was. It was behind. It was a tiling window manager, and it was here behind here. So it's up to you to decide if you want to keep it running there. So Awesome is done. Maybe later on we'll do DWM or something else. Fix keys is all tested last time. It's gonna work. That is not new. This was not working last time. So install the grub Vmix theme. All it needed was text, right? Specific text of XeroLInux. If you have that, change it to that. And that's what we've done. First, that was installation. Now we're gonna apply the Vmix theme. We update everything, grub theme, update, etc., etc. We choose something bright. Well, otherwise you'll have this. If I just reboot now, you get the standard one from ArcoLinux. Or apply wallpaper and choose any of the wallpapers. Here's the Endeavour OS, here's the Garuda, right? And some very nice, but blank, right? These can be beautiful and stylish and business-like. Up to you. You can add so many more, right? Images. Go ahead and go check. Wow, deconf. Go check what wallpaper you like. Tip is keep it rather abstract. Enfin, wallpapers enough in the world, right? Let's do our grub before we continue. So quit ATT. That's nice if you do it like that, and then we need to reboot. And another sip. Nice. Nice and bright, and if you have it on a big screen, it's gonna be a lot nicer. We're back in auto login, right? Auto login, and you've seen already here the SDDM theme, ArcoLinux tweak tool. One of the things that is indeed interesting, so that's done, is to say to SDDM, I would like to auto login. This should be working. This is the beta version, right? The beta version has been changed. We've been communicating, well, last days very intense. And some of these elements in discussions, we've said, okay, let's hide this, let's hide that. Some of the buttons are not present because of the tools, right? And the tools are now gone. When you boot up, you have this screen, and you can select the way to install Samba is part of XeroLInux. So we're hiding these things. Now this was a configuration matter. So let's see if it's working now. I would like to auto login with Awesome next time. So auto login, Awesome, Zero Dark, no other wallpapers, SDDM themes installed, and just apply and see what we get. We enabled SDDM server, settings saved successfully. That's strange that it gives this message. So that's a work for me. This is okay, right? When we click here, then it's okay, it's enabled. So I like to do things separately. Apply settings is gonna work fine if SDDM is already there, right? But it shouldn't say enabled. Enabled is here. Okay, let's reboot. Eric, you should have closed it. Quit. Otherwise you get this flag saying, hey, something exists, and then we have to click it away. So no, that's not working. So I'm gonna talk to XeroLInux again and say, okay, that's not how it can work. So Dolphin, let's go to etc sddm conf kd settings session awesome. Eric is correct. So what it says is correct, which means we have another file. What's in there? sddm.conf. No, sddm down here. That's not okay. This one overrules the other one, right? sddm.conf is the main thing, but this one, these settings should be applied, would be applied, will be applied if it's not here. But this one wins. I'm back on Plasma. Let's see if I can save it. I can. So I don't know why and how. That's a study for later, but it's the wrong file that has been written to. It should write to this one, and sddm.conf shouldn't have that at all. Either it's XeroLInux or it's ATT. We'll figure it out. All right. So if we do it like this, and videos like these, guys, it is learning, right? How does everything fit together, and why and how? If you have it double, it needs to choose, and we can't have it double because voila, we'll mess it up. And now we're gonna go in awesome. Control T, yeah, there is one. ArcoLinux tweak tool, and off we go. So that's a study for later. So you know already we're working on it. And LightYAM, if you want to install it, install LightYAM enabled. I think we tested it last time, I'm not sure, so I'm gonna do it anyway. So if you want to switch and say, okay, LightYAM is more to my liking, we could auto login here as well, but we choose the auto login. So okay, I see what happened. So this line needs to go up there. Choose the desktop if you want to auto login. This block needs to go there. Yep, okay. So that one, back to awesome. Apply, but also enable. This is important, right? Because we're switching from login manager. We're switching from there to there. So this time, last time we had already SDM, didn't matter. This time it matters. So LightYAM has been enabled. Reboot. Quit ATT. SR. Sudo reboot. Now some of us have issues with LightYAM, so beware. No, that's not your mistake, maybe, but it's maybe your hardware. Auto login works for sure. Let's log out and let's look at LightYAM. So this is the LightYAM look. And because we don't have ArcGTK theme, normally this thing is dark. It's just install some more stuff on. Hey, shouldn't we be logging into? Let's have a look. ArcoLinux tweak tool. Login, LightYAM, that's on, awesome, apply settings. And then we go to the file, right? Why is it not doing a thing? So LightYAM, enter, LightYAM. So you see all these back things, we always make backups. And look, he has his wallpaper there. Here he is, LightYAM. Make it bigger, like in way bigger. And then scroll down. Auto login Eric. Auto login session awesome. couldn't be any better. Do we have here as well? Perl. Yeah, cool. So we're not on Sublime Text here. We're on Kate. And now we know. Awesome, Eric. Looking good. And now reboot. Forgot to stop ATT again. And another sip. Yes, we're allowed to log in, but who is in control? Yep, okay, now it's working, right? So we've got... I know what happens. It's my own stupid mistake. Cool. Yeah, Eric does make them. Oh, too much. Up here, we have the choice, right? And if I'm back on LightDM, you need to make sure that this is correct. So this is working just fine. Waste a few minutes. But maybe, right? Maybe you're wasting them too. Now you know why. All right. We'll revisit the whole enchilada anyway. There's another application that we can test. Set ATT config. That's the LightDM. There does not seem to be a space here, Eric. So go add a space. Set ATT config. That's actually for the systems where it's really rubbish, in the sense that ArcoLinux from the clean install, the pure Arch, right? It has nothing, not a wallpaper, nothing. So that's why we have this button here to set something nicer rather than the black screen we get. Well, we'll visit this later. Mirrors. And Pacman. So this is new, right? This is new. So all the guys on Garuda, on EndeavourOS, on Manjaro, on ALCI, on ArcoLinux, on Ariser, on Arch, did I get them all? They can now install the packages from XeroLInux, from Excel, from NVIDIA. So up here is this little sign I just saw. Repositories. KL to KOR, scroll through it. Nemesis repo, scroll through it. ArcoLinux repo, scroll through it. ArcoLinux repo, scroll through it. Excel, scroll. So Excel means exactly what it is you're thinking, extra large. These guys are way above. Look at that one, 2 GB. This guy, Android Studio, right? 2 GB. And XeroLInux, NVIDIA. So all the guys with NVIDIA cards who have trouble, maybe they can use the NVIDIA versions from here, right? But it is a little bit of knowledge, ArcoLinux, ArchWiki, NVIDIA, and then start learning what you exactly need. But that's for the older machines. So this can go, right? So that's Pacman. You have a shop. Basically, this is the shop. You go and install Qtile from our Qtile and install Linux kernels from Garuda, for instance, and so on. That's the shop. Privacy worked last time. Terminals, I'm gonna rearrange the buttons, don't like it anymore, but it all works. Terminal fun should work. There is a should for it. Well, first of all, this is Alacrity, right? So, well, sudo is not necessary, not even. We can just go here, Control H, and then the bash or C. We are on bash, right? That's important. Bash or C. At the bottom, it says neofetch. If we delete the catch there, the catch phrase, or what was it, clear phrase, and then we can actually go for the rest. So if we restart, let's see if it finds it. If we end our bash RC with neofetch, then he knows, right? Clear space, pipe space, neofetch. He doesn't know that. And then we can add lolcat to it. Okay, lolcat is on lots of applications, but if I do Ctrl-Alt-T, this is nice. And this will be fixed soon, right? So this is the neofetch with coloring, lolcat. Or you go to, I don't know, ufetch with colors. So these things work, that's fine. Or you just want to have a plain terminal without anything. And then themes that work, right? If you install the desktop. Awesome is installed. I can change to the latest and the newest one, just out today actually, Power Arrow Dark. So apply and Super Shift R. I have now a new theme up here. This is the theme. It's a bar basically. And if Qtile is installed, we could, right? If Qtile is installed, where's Qtile? There it is. Install. This is what we need. If there are any conflicts, you need to figure out what package have I installed that could conflict with this somehow, right? And let's quit here and continue on. Super X, right? L, log out. Up here, don't forget it now, Qtile. Don't do Wayland. Never do Wayland, certainly not on VirtualBox. We're back on Qtile. Neofetch. Alright, Qtile. And then we go for ArcoLinux tweak tool. So if one of these themes, if these desktops are installed, then you can install something else. And this was a red one, and the tutorial is online. How do we create things? You see all these sky icons up here, and this isn't nice as well. So you learn from these things. Super X, log out. It's not always that Super Shift R works. Let the machine get the code in and take care of it. All right, we're still on XeroLInux. You see, if you don't stop it nicely, it says, hey, what's the matter? Close me or quit me the nice way. So that themes, that's user. We've done already a user, but I'll make another Joe with an administrator account. Apply settings. Voila, user has been created. How do we know that? Instantly if you launch ArcoLinux tweak tool. This time I'm gonna launch it as Joe, right? And it keeps on working. If you log out, you'll see a Joe, and if you log in, then you have a /home/Eric/home/Joe. You have a separate folder for the user. So might be a good idea to know that. Why? If you mess up code, you can continue your life as Joe, right? Because that folder is not messed up. And then learn again and say, okay, that's the content I need to change, and go back to Eric in my case. Anything I missed? So we need to put our heads together again about that. Well, this we've not done. So LightYAM Slick Reader is now installed and enabled. So quit ATT and then Super X R reboot. Use the key bindings, right? It's in all the 28 desktops. It's all there. So once you learn it, actually you'll do it automatically. Your fingers will grasp to the right key combos. And another sip. What did we change? Super X, log out. This is the new look, right? This is the slick greeter. And I can indeed change, become Joe. Let's become Joe. Oh, I should type Joe then, as password. And this is a clean folder. A clean folder. If you go to home, you'll have Eric and you have Joe. And if I click here, right? I shouldn't have access to Joe, should I? Not on my system, I think. To be tested. Voila. I think we're through. Maybe I'd like to finish. Oh yeah, I'm Joe now, and then this password will not do. Voila, 3 letters. One last thing, maybe DWM or Dusk. Dusk I haven't installed recently. Install. Dusk I installed yesterday. And you log out. I'm always too quick. Click, click, wait for it, and then log out them. Don't need to reboot. We have the slick reader thing. It's now here. Dusk Qtown, right? Dusk. And Joe is the password. And this I thought, when will it happen, right? This thing is the KPG assistant, and we made it silent on ArcoLinux. So this is of course quite big. Why? It's a YAT application, and it's tiling with a manager. It will get a bit smaller if we add some more screens and change the layout a little bit. I can make some changes, but it's meant to be big. It's a tiling window manager. It tiles, so that's cool. It works fine. Sure. The slick greeter, right? It's a black thing. It's not nice. Let's go back. Oh, I'm Joe now. Joe. And it really is what it says here. The script in here says, if LightYAM slick greeter is installed, then fine. If it's installed, we disable it, and if it's not installed, we enable it, right? That's the enable disable thing. So it is enabled, so now it's disabled. Okay. I hope that makes sense. Reboot. And I did not quit it nicely again. Brute. You see, a lot of time comes in all these testing, right? And that's why you need to test it as well, because there are sometimes things that we do differently. Oh, no, yes. So we've hidden the shells. I was just thinking I'm forgetting the shells. We've agreed together, right? XeroLInux and me decided to remove the services and the shells, I think, right? So that's why they're not here. XeroLInux has its own application to get you from Bash to ZSH to install Samba. All right, so the login, Super X, log out. Again, I did not close it nicely. So we're back to what we had. That's always important. If it doesn't happen, guys, tell us. It's always, we need always to go back to what it was prior to all the changes we've made with the ArcoLinux tweetable. It's essential. It's a rule, right? But if things happen, if we forget some code, that's computers. You can't forget anything. Not a comma, not an indentation, nothing. was I thinking? Going back, right? Grub. Go back to apply the original grub theme. So go back to XeroLInux. Should be possible. Okay, test. This one, yeah, that's something else. This one, LightEM is now active. Back to SDM it is. So we enable SDM. That's one thing already. We want to auto login to Awesome. No, to Plasma again with Zero Dark. And we'll see if that's going to work as well. Because we feel there is some rework to do here. And on the mirrors, nothing to do. Pacman. Yeah, that's probably then going back to the way it was. The only thing you need to do, let them be in the pacman.conf. They are now there. And let them stay there. They have a hashtag in front of them. They're not used, right? So just, this would be the normal setup again. Get stuff from Arch and get stuff from XeroLInux. Stop. This is it. And privacy, we've not done anything. We could actually install it, see if that's still working. Aha. User bin hblock. Never seen this before, ever. So that's something to check as well. And what is he doing then? We're waiting for this slider. It's probably not going to do anything. So let's launch that again. Privacy. It's not because it worked last time. It works now, right? Obviously. What is he saying? No such file. User bin hblock. Yeah. How things can go wrong quickly, right? How things can go wrong quickly. If you do not have the ArcoLinux repos. So I definitely need to program, and I tried, but failed. So I'm gonna try again later. What we should do, if you give a message, if you want to install Awesome and you say install, it pops up, hey, you don't have ArcoLinux repos, right? Same applies for the other guy, hblock. Same applies for this guy, privacy. We need to have some kind of fail-safe. If ArcoLinux is not installed, the repos, then no fun, simple as that. But programming, saying it is easier than programming it in Python and GTK. As you know, I'm still learning. And that's the fun. Alright, we need to log out then. Everything should be the same again. Super X, reboot, SDM should be there. I think we set, voila, the grub is back, right? Everything back the way it was. And that's the thing, right? You should be able to mess everything up, but then get back to the original look again and the original choices. So if we mess that up, let us know on the Discord channel. There is a channel there specifically for the ArcoLinux tweak tool. All the code needs to be correct on all the 9 distros, as simple as that. I think we've done everything. The video is already 38 minutes long and it has some to-dos for me in it. All right, cheers.